So good evening, Carroll County, and I'm grateful to be here, marking this significant but also sad day in our history. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maura Keller. I'm the Democratic nominee for Georgia's 3rd Congressional District. I am a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel with 26 years. I've spent the last almost 10 years working in and around healthcare. In my experience, this is one of the hardest things that I've run across, and this is one of the issues that has inspired me to run for office. The state of healthcare in Georgia is shocking, and attacks on the reproductive freedom have been a dire situation made worse. The danger of these attacks is apparent to me from the very beginning. When people with no medical experience start making the rules, we know we are in trouble. 2 difficult years have passed since the Dobbs decision, and I can tell you that not one single person in our country is better off because of it. Women and birthing people are struggling, and if we do not take action, we will see even more of our rights stripped away. We got to start asking ourselves this question. Do we deserve more? Do we deserve better? How many people here have heard of Project 2025? Okay. This is the book. This is the way ahead. This is the plan that is going to happen if we don't take charge. This 7-pound book is going to tell us women exactly what they're going to do to us. So the Project 2025 is a mandate for leadership. It's also known as the Presidential Transition Project. It is a collection of conservative policies and policies from the Heritage Foundation. This is the roadmap to the next conservative Republican president. But the foundation of this dangerous agenda has already been implemented. An overwhelmingly amount of attacks on reproductive freedoms have already been put into motion. They are not waiting. For decades, Republicans have been planning on how to restrict our human rights. Far-right extremists have infiltrated our government and have been chipping away at our American values, finding weak spots and loopholes where they can spread the Christian nationalist ideology. They are now so confident in their efforts, they have released Project 2025 for everybody to see. They have shown us the blueprints, and they believe that there's nothing that they can do that will stop. I'm here to tell you that they are wrong. In 2024, we are coming face to face with the realities of these abortion bans. We've heard of the horror stories of women being arrested for felonies, for abuse of a corpse. Why? Because she had a miscarriage. Women are being on death's door with life-threatening pregnancy complications, and doctors being unable or unwilling to intervene because they're afraid that they'll go to jail or lose their license. We have seen courts debate, well, were they really sick enough? Is that pregnancy truly unviable? A Missouri legislator recently voted against exceptions for rape and incest, and he justified it by saying that forced birth can be the greatest healing agent. Now let that sink in. The people writing laws in the United States believe that traumatizing women, girls, and birthing people will be a healing process. These dangerous words and phrases are becoming more and more common. Since the Dobbs decisions, Republicans think that they have the green light to bring their extremist views to the forefront. It has never been okay to gamble with someone's life in the name of this great nation. These are not American principles, but the religious beliefs of a certain few. Attacks on healthcare have no place in our government, in our laws, or policies that define our freedoms. In District 3, we're now living in a no man's land of reproductive healthcare. OBGYNs do not want to set up offices here because of the heartbeat bill. Our Republican legislature believes that life begins at conception, and they are leaving no room for discussion. We are forcing women to travel to different counties, different states, and in some cases, different countries, just to get the basic health care that they need. Republicans want to scrap federal funding for Planned Parenthood and remove your right to privacy. If you have an abortion or you cross state lines, they want your medical records to be used against you in a court of law. They want to be able to track you. They want access for any medical information between you and your healthcare provider. When these restrictions are put in place, think about who's losing. The women, the children, the families, and especially women of color. Maternal mortality in our state is at an epidemic. Across this country, Black women are 3 times more likely to die in childbirth than white women. That could not be more true than in Georgia. Every day, lives are being lost due to careless and reckless lawmakers. Lives are being lost due to racial disparity in healthcare. And with Project 2025 on the horizon, these issues are going to continue to spiral out of control. Reproductive rights will deteriorate, and Republicans are already looking ahead to what comes next. They have set their sights on removing access to contraceptive care. They want to leave the decisions at the states. Employers will be given the ability to deny contraception coverage based on religious exemptions, despite these services being guaranteed by the Affordable Care Act. Now, there was a time when women could not get contraceptive care. It wasn't until 1965 when the Supreme Court gave married women the right to access contraceptive care. It wasn't until 1972 when the Supreme Court allowed single women to have access to contraceptive care. But you know what? We now know what the Supreme Court gives us, the Supreme Court can take away. The highest levels of our government have been packed with conservative anti-choice representatives, and they will never put your best interests first. They are serving the Republican agenda to dismantle your freedom in America. That's why we need Democrats to keep the Senate. That's why we need Democrats to take the House. A perfect example is House Resolution Bill 3755, which is called the Women's Health Protection Act. It passed the House in 2021, but every Georgia Republican that voted on it voted no. But the bill still went forward, but the Senate held it up. It still has not been approved. So when you feel like your vote doesn't matter, like your voice won't be heard in the next election, I assure you, it does matter. Your vote can save lives by expanding access to reproductive health care in Georgia. Your vote can repeal abortion bans and make sure that women and birthing people across this nation are safe and protected. Your vote will transform the prospects of women in America. Vote for your mother. Vote for your daughter. Vote for your neighbor. Vote for your coworker and your community. Send me to Congress so we can finally codify Roe v. Wade. Send me to Congress where we will have the power of the purse strings for the expansion of Medicaid and send money into our poorest districts for the creation of smaller hospitals in areas that didn't have it, or to reopen for the ones that had closed. Send me to Congress and I will fight endlessly for your freedom. Republicans still want women to be second-class citizens, and this is nothing new. So ladies, while we're at it, while I'm at Congress, let's finally pass the Equal Rights Amendment. Whoa! This past March marked 101 years. So if anybody here thinks that you have equal rights or that the Equal Rights Amendment was passed, the answer is no. We've had women work so hard to get equal rights, and many of them have now died without getting to see that happen. Today, we still have 15 states that still have not ratified the Equal Rights Amendment. In Georgia, you happen to be living in one of them. So 2024 is our year. It is our time. We must take control. And the only way to do that is by showing up at the polls. If you don't vote, if you don't send me to Congress, none of what I have just said will matter. Project 2025 will ensure your rights no longer exist, and that will be your reality. It's your body, and we will keep fighting Once again, it's your choice. Thank you.